Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. And today we're back here in the F2 series as Robert Schwartzman in this lovely Prima F2 car. And we're here at the 4th out of 5 different circuits for qualifying. It is the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. And although we have been quite dominant so far this season, I still think we've had some exciting sprint feature races, dramatic quali, of course. At Imola, that was really close. But it is great to be here at Mexico. Of course, we have had a win at Mexico in My Team Career Mode, my second My Team Career Mode win. Hopefully, we'll be able to replicate that this F2 race weekend. But of course, quali here at Mexico, it is an interesting track, of course. Let's not forget it can be quite a difficult one in Sector 1 in terms of track limits, as we see Drugovic heading into there. We don't have strict track limits on, so it isn't that much of a problem for us, but often you've got to cut a lot of those corners off without invalidating your time when you're in time trial. Aitken there, Fittipaldi, he had a pretty disappointing Austrian race weekend. He's got a lot of work to do if he wants to improve. Verschoor, similar. Liam Lawson there. And of course, Jehan Daruva will be happy after last race. And Dan Tickdom on track at the moment. Hopefully, we can continue our good run of form in today's quali. In terms of the tyres given, it is the SuperSoft compounds. We had a little bit of a go on the softs in free practice. Not long at all, really, a couple of laps. But the SuperSofts have been allocated to ourselves, and they're probably going to wear quite quickly. I know that the lifespan has massively gone up, probably because of the time of day, of course. But these tyres will wear quickly. There will be a lot of wear on these SuperSofts. I expect that. There's going to be a lot of wear on these SuperSofts. It's certainly going to be an interesting one. It could be a similar one to Bahrain qualifying. But as everyone else is getting out on track, we're going to get out there and put our first lap in. Ah, how wonderful. The sun is setting here in Mexico. Ah, absolutely beautiful scenes here as we back off a little bit to get ready for a good run to start our lap here. We're looking for something decent on these SuperSofts. Lovely to be on SuperSofts. I think it's the only of the tracks that we have got on the calendar that uses the SuperSofts. Great to be on these tyres. You don't have them in F1 at the moment, so fantastic to be on these pinky purple marked SuperSoft tyres. Boschung, the slowest of those who have put a lap in to represent themselves. He's been struggling a bit this season. He'll be maybe looking for a bit of redemption here, but it isn't really going for him. Not too shabby through Sector 1 in this Prima car. Tyre wear looking pretty high at the moment, especially at a track like this where you can lock up, as we have gone purple in Sector 1. It did feel like a good Sector 1 here. You've got to sort of tiptoe around this section in these F2 cars. You're not getting full throttle until after this apex, but so smooth through there. We are looking good today in Mexico. One of my best tracks, so definitely looking for something good. This section quite difficult in the F2 cars, a lot of lifting involved. Lifting, coasting, and so on. There we go, we've nicely got through there. That could be another purple. It is purple once again. It looks like we're going to be going quickest out of everyone this lap as we go way too deep there. Don't know what I was thinking. But lovely scenes here at Mexico. In F1, you race at daytime, the sun beating down. To have the lovely sun setting at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in front of the Mexican fans. It's lovely, and we've only gone third quickest. A messy final sector there, proving a little bit costly. And we're not going to go again here because I forgot to re-click the DRS. A little bit of a messy lap. We are going to return to the garage here. Reduce tyre wear. Of course, that's not what we want to do. That's going to invalidate our lap time anyway, but we're going to return to the pits and get ready to go again. A bit of a disappointing end to the lap there in the third sector, and it's cost us a really good lap time. Ah dear, we compare ourselves to Yuri Vips, the quickest man, and we just lost it in the final sector. Sat back a bit in the final sector, and boom, we just totally lost that fantastic purple sector 1, purple sector 2. Thanks for talking at the moment, Jeff. Thank you for talking over me. In terms of your order, Yuri Vips, though, quickest, looking fantastic in that Red Bull livery. He's ahead of Jack Aitken, who's had a very dismal season so far, up in P2. Similar for Felipe Drugovic, sky high for him in P3. Juan Yujo, his teammate, after a fantastic Austrian race weekend and a win in the sprint race, he sits P4, looking very strong. We're P5, just ahead of Larim Zendelli, the German. Samaya, P7, not too bad for him. He'll be happy with that. Sato, the highest of the Trident. No, it's not Trident. It is I no clue now. Sato, the highest for his team, ahead of Dan Ticktum. Jeff really has a thing against me today. So Sato, P8, ahead of Dan Ticktum, P9 for Carlin. He'll be happy with that, trying to get some more points on the board. Don't forget, every team has points on the board now, so it's looking fantastic for every team. They're not going to be sad at the end of the season without getting into the top 10 in a feature or top 8 in a sprint. David Beckman continuing his consistency, P11. Similar for Verschaw, P10 for Beckman, P11 for Richard Verschaw. Theo Poucher,
we're looking at a dry session,
sits P12. The Frenchman is looking a little bit lower down the order than he usually is. He's usually quite a feature in quali, still solid. He's ahead of his teammate, but usually his strength is in the sprint races and he won't be near the top if he's P12, only top 10. Get reversed. Lundgaard sits P13, that's his teammate. Deruvala P14, not too bad from him. Fittipaldi is going to be dropping further down the championship if he doesn't improve on that P15, with Armstrong P16. Lawson struggling down in P17 alongside his countryman Armstrong, and my teammate Piastri down in P18. The grid is very close together, 7/10 to separate everyone, 4/10 for the top 18, but P18 for Oscar is a very disappointing lap time, 1 minute 27.698. I was hoping he'd be able to get up there for Prima. We're looking very strong in the constructors, but he has just gone out, and P18 is disappointing for him. Similarly, for our rival Bent Viscal, P19 at the moment. We were looking fantastic compared to him at the end of the Austrian weekend. That will continue with Viscal way outside of the top 10. He's got a lot of work to do. You need to be in the top 10 in F2, then you stand a chance of good points. Roy Nissany, P20, a bit of a shame for him. Then Bostrom, P21. Delayed looked fantastic at Imola, but he's now starting to struggle. Struggled last time out at Austria, and he's struggling again today. A long way for him to improve. But we are currently P5 with quite a bit of improvement to do. 10% tyre wear, so if we go out again, lap time's going to be slightly compromised, but we are going to go out again in a little while and hopefully be able to go quicker. In terms of the order, we have teammates sat in front of us. Drugovic and Zhou, the Chinese driver who was, of course, going to Alfa Romeo in 2022. It'll be great to see him on the F1 grid when we kick off proceedings in Bahrain. Not so long to go until that now when I'm recording this video. Still feels like an eternity, but here we go. This is pretty much going to be probably our only other attempt at a pole position here, because once these tyres have gone, they are gone. We're probably going to lose about 2/10 of a lap compared to last time due to tyre wear. It's not too bad of a start to Sector 1 here. Struggling to get our foot on the throttle, heading to Sector 2. A 10 slower, it's not a disaster. I mean, when we're supposed to be losing maybe like a 10th a sector due to tyre wear here, it's not too bad, but we run massively over that curb here. But somehow, we've actually managed to go quicker, despite the mistake. Now that green strip, with quite a bit of traction, we are going in and out in terms of going better here. And that is certainly not the exact route I was going to take, but we'll take that anyway. Now this section, all about pushing through it, and that is what we're doing. Slightly quicker, slightly slower. It's going to come down to the final sector. We go purple in the middle. We already have the fastest first and middle sectors. Now it is our opportunity here. The final sector is where we lost the time last lap. You can see we're going 4, 5 tenths quicker, not making the same mistake until the final corner. This is going a lot quicker, and this should be enough to promote us to P1, and it is a beauty of a lap here. An absolute beauty of a lap. We're going to lift off. Sector 1 wasn't too bad. Sector 2 wasn't too bad. It was the final sector where we needed to improve, and we've absolutely smashed that. We're going to return to the pits. No way we'll be able to go really much quicker now with these tyres. But what a way there to finish off our qualifying attempt. We should be pretty comfortable. Only a few more drivers left to go out in this one. The order won't have changed, really, apart from ourselves moving up it from last time we went out. So in terms of the last review we had of the order before we went out now, that will be exactly the same, apart from the fact we have moved from P5 to P1. So now we're going to go to quali results. Well, 3 poles out of 4 for ourselves. Another fantastic quali. 1 minute 27 flat there, pretty much. 4 points to go with it, but man, has the order changed. I was expecting the order to pretty much stay identical, with the SuperSofts being a very, very soft tyre. They're going to get worn quickly, so you would have thought that the tyre wears too much for anyone to improve on their final runs, but certainly wrong there. The order pretty shook up after that, because my teammates up to P3 there, 2.4 tenths off myself. Yuri Vips sandwiched in between myself and my teammate. He with a 1 minute 27.276. So a really good work from the Estonian there, Yuri Vips. With Armstrong, P4 for Dams, really solid there, ahead of Jack Aitken, P5 HW Race Lab. He'll be happy to finally be in the top 10. Yes, there's no points, but it puts him in a perfect position to either score some in the sprint feature or both. Felipe Drugovic, P6, he'll be happy with that too for Univertosi Racing. That's great to see. Really is great to see for him. He's been stuck towards the bottom of the field. Finally, though, getting up near the top. He will certainly be looking for some points in either both sprint feature or just one of the two. Like Aitken, an improving season. Wang Yuzhou, P7, again up into the top 10. A resurgence from the Chinese driver. He'll be just off the front for the sprint race, and we'll be looking fantastic for that one. Wang Yu, though, again, another solid quali on the back of last time, when we of course had him getting into the top 10. Today in the top 10 again. Great to see him turning his season around. Zendelli has had a consistent season despite a few mechanical failures, has been consistently getting around the top 10 area, has had some disappointing results, but P8 is certainly a decent one for him, ahead of Samaya for Shari Racing. Not his teammate Fittipaldi in the points. Another good result for Samaya, turning his season around. Similarly for Marino Sato, still yet to score points after the most unfortunate of races we've seen for him. A mechanical failure in the sprint race, I do believe it was for him. And then it unravelled once again in the feature last time. What a shame for Marino. Dan Tickton, though, P11. He'll be quite happy with that for Carlin. Looking for some more points this season. He should be in it for the feature race. Just outside the reverse grid, Sato will be on pole for the sprint, but not too bad for Dan Tickton. He's ahead of David Beckman, who sits P12 for Campos Racing. The German not looking too bad there. Again, consistently just in or out of the top 10. Similar for Richard Verschoor, who's P13 for MP Motorsport. Duo Pouchet, the first of the two ART cars, and they are next to each other in the order. Pouchet ahead of Lundgaard. Bit disappointing for Pouchet, usually qualifying in the top 10. He will not be starting in the top 10 for either of the two races, and will find it hard to defend his P3 in the championship, with Lundgaard just behind trying to turn his season around. Daruvula, P16, scored last time out. Chunk off his teammate there, 10th to be, well, it's kind of exact, probably about 0.8 tenths. But Daruvula at P16 ahead of Enzo Fittipaldi, struggling in quali today for Sharu. 1 minute 27, 6.70, the exact same lap time as Daruvula. Quite rare there. But of course, when everyone's in equal cars in F2, a lot more likely than in F1. Really, really interesting there. Daruvula and Fittipaldi, the same lap time, but Daruvula ahead of Enzo. Liam Lawson, P18 for High Tech Grand Prix, with Ben Viscar down in P19. Very disappointing for the Dutch driver, our championship rival. And without a load of luck and skill, he is not going to be getting points this weekend and will be dropping further away. Disappointing for him, with Roy Nissany, P20 for Dams, Boschung, P21, those two struggling this season. And then Alessio Deleda, as I have said, he is last today, P22. Great in Imola. He really was great in Imola. He looked decent in Bahrain, and now it's just falling apart. But of course, we are on pole for the race, the feature race to be exact, and we now lead by 49 points to Ben Viscar. That is a healthy lead there for ourselves. We're not exactly charging away with it, like not winning every single race, of course, that would be pretty boring, but we are looking very comfortable with 114 points ahead of Viscar and Pouchet, both of those outside the top 10, along with Deleda. Vips, however, will be gaining on all of those guys. He starts P2. Fittipaldi outside the top 10. Oscar, my teammate, looking good. He starts P3, will be able to gain on those. Verschoor, when you show, will be looking to gain. Armstrong, in terms of that order, expect the likes of Vips, Piastri, Zhou, Armstrong to be really jumping up that order. It's going to get spicy in the sprint and feature race. Hopefully, Sato will be able to take some points. Still yet to score, along with Samaya, Nissany and Boschung. Let's not forget, Samaya's also up there in P9. It'd be great if those two lining up 1 and 2 on the grid for the sprint could take some points. But we are on pole here, which means we'll take first for the feature, 10th for the sprint. Bit of work to do in that one if you want to take points, but that will create an exciting race. 2.26 tenths back to the Estonia Eurovips. Our teammate creating a prima sandwich in P3. Univirtuosi looking good. Zhou, more points maybe for him. A resurgence for Drugovic, Aitken, and Samaya, Sato, of course. And then some strugglers outside the top 10. Pouchet, Fittipaldi, Viscar and Alessio Deleda way off the pace. In fact, Deleda earlier, second off the pace there. Those guys are struggling. But we are on pole, 4 more points. And what is setting up a very tasty race weekend of action. If you guys have enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But I'll catch you all sometime soon.